What's up, my dudes? So today I'll be showing you how to make, cleanse, and charge your very own protection charm. This is a good thing to do if you're a basic beginner witch and you don't really know much about witchcraft, but you want to do something witchy and you just want to have something on you. Protection is a good thing to start off with. I believe all beginner witches should do something related to protection just to protect them. This is how I made mine. All I used was 20 gauge wire around the outside and 14 gauge wire on the inside, and then I wrapped it all in paracord, and that was it. Also put it through some dirt and clay just to weather it a bit because I don't like things looking pristine quality. So I just did that, and this is how it came out. I've had this for probably around 2 or 3 years that I've had this, and it's still holding up. It bends every so often, so I just need to bend it back, but it's nothing that bothers me too much. But yeah, that's how you can make one of these. If you do not want to use a symbol, obviously you can use whichever one you want. I have a video on my channel about sigils, so if you wanted to use the same concept but instead of using a pentagram you use a sigil, you can do that. This is for Leviathan Satanism if you want to know anything about this particular meaning. I know there's a lot of different meanings for pentagram. That's what this one's for. If you want to know what that's about, Google it. I'm not really going to make a whole video about that because it's not really witchcraft related. For your protection charm, it doesn't have to be any sort of symbol in particular. You could also look up different symbols in whatever you practice for protection. Each one has their own, so if you want to look up something for that, you can go ahead and put in this. Just create your own, whether that be just something simple like this image in a circle, or if you want to create something elaborate like a actual shape that is 3D or something. Just use your own creativity whenever you're doing this. It's really up to you how you want to create it, but I would suggest keeping it very simple just because you don't want it to be too busy and then you don't want to carry it, or it's just too obtrusive to whatever you're doing. For cleansing, now to cleanse you can actually do this multiple different ways. I usually like to cleanse my things 3 different ways in 3 different elements. That's just the way that I do it. So for this charm, I actually ran it under some moon water. I held it over fire and then I rubbed clay on it. So that's just my 3 ways of cleansing it. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it however your practice dictates. If you're a Necromancer, you can use some cleansed ash. If you're an Elementalist, you can use elements like I do. If you are a moon witch, then you can use moon water or just set it out during an eclipse. Solar witch, you can set it out during a solstice or just when it's the peak of the day. You can do it however you want to do it. And if you are say a kitchen witch or a broom witch and your things that you want to use are actually usable, you can also just enchant, and you can also just cleanse and enchant something that you're using. It doesn't necessarily have to be something made for it. You can also have it utilitarian. So for mine, if I want to cleanse anything or charge anything, then I just set it on top of this, and there you go. It's protection in itself, and it can also be used for other things. So don't necessarily think of a protection charm as something that has to be just a charm. You can also have tool that can be used for the same thing. You can also use incense, so whether that be the smudge stick or the stick incense, you can use those for cleansing your charms or whatever. I would suggest that if you are doing something that is smaller, then you can use the incense sticks. But if you're doing something larger, use the smudge sticks because it's just more smoke and you don't need to use a whole smudge stick for just a palm-sized thing. If you can also use any sort of prayer or chants that you want. If you practice a certain religion that uses prayer, you can say a prayer over whatever you're doing, or you can say a chant. I'll suggest if you're using a chant, use positive words and words that imply that you already have what you're doing. So if, say you're using this protection charm and you want to chant over I am not harmed, or I will not be harmed, what that is doing is putting negativity into your own chant. So instead of saying I will not be harmed, say I am safe. So that's turning the will not into I am. So you already are safe. You don't have to feel like you're lacking any sort of security or anything. And when you say safe rather than harmed, you don't want to put harmed or negativity or anything into whatever you're chanting. You want it to be positivity. So safety, safetiness, protection, all of those are positive things that you need to bring towards you whenever you're doing a chant or anything like that. For any sort of spell work too. If you're doing a spell, stick to positive words and positive phrasing rather than negative phrasing, unless you're doing a negative spell. But stick to positive if you're doing positive, negative if you're doing negative. For charging, you can obviously do this at your discretion. Whatever type of witchcraft you practice, you can do it related to your practice. But if you are doing charging, it should be more focused with your energy rather than just doing something passive to do it. So you can charge with incense, you can charge with pouring moon water on it, but it will be better to actually sit down with your item or items and put your physical energy into it. That's just a little tip. If you're practicing, you don't want to just be passively doing any sort of spell work. You want to actually be physically doing it and physically feeling whatever you're doing. That's just going to help you in the long run. So what I did with my charm when I wanted to charge it was, first I put it in my hands and said a few chants over it, and then I put it in some clay. I put it on the roof during an eclipse and put moon water on it. And then I also held it over a flame. I'm not going to put this in a flame, but held it over a flame, and then I sprinkled some ash over it that had a petition paper with protection on it. So that was also rubbed on this. You don't have to go to that extreme, but I wanted to make sure that this gives me protection, and also I can use it for enchanting other things, because I don't want it just for the looks. I want to actually use it in every day. So you can charge it that way. If you want to charge it, say you held in your hands and you do a meditation over it, you can do it that way. If you want to bury it in fresh soil, then you can do it that way. If you have a garden and you have some plants that are just now sprouting, you can have this near them while they're doing that. You can charge it however your witchcraft dictates. So there's multiple different ways of doing. That's just a few examples, but just because I don't mention it doesn't mean that you can't charge it that way. And also, if you do practice a certain type of witchcraft, I would like to know in the comments how you do your cleansing and charging. I would just like to know how other witches practice. I'm not in a coven, and I don't really follow that many witches, so I would like to know from the witches that subscribe to me. If you would like to know more about witchcraft and different type of witchcraft related things, make sure to check my channel. I post videos every week, or I try to. But yeah, if you would like to know any sort of witchcraft related things, go ahead and subscribe down below. Be sure to have a good day, night, life. Enjoy yourself and be happy.